Las Vegas real estate is always evolving, from old charm money communities like 𝗟𝗏𝗂𝗓𝗓 to state-of-the-art master plan communities like Green Valley, to luxury living in Summerlin, to the high-rises on our strip. Also, there's also communities like where I am right now, communities like Sky Canyon and Centennial Hills and Lone Mountain. In the south, we also have Inspirada. Those are all new and upcoming communities that offer lots of amenities that your families and yourself might like yourself. Right behind me is the Las Vegas Strip. We are at about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the time of the day. Now, the big question is right now, is it a good time to invest in Las Vegas, and are prices still going up? Today on the Zarcone Report, we're going to tackle exactly that. I'm going to compare all these communities, compare the numbers, share them with you, and then I'm going to give you my take and figure out if it's the right time to buy, sell, or invest in the Las Vegas market. A few weeks ago, I got a phone call from a client friend of mine that lives in Portland, Oregon. And he goes, Giacomo, I've known you for a long time, right? And I said, yeah, you have known me for a long time. And he goes, Giacomo, it's freezing out here. I'm tired of the cold, and I want to retire. And I was either debating Arizona or Las Vegas. He said Phoenix, Arizona, or Las Vegas. And I was just wondering if this is the right time to buy in Las Vegas. And I go, well, you know Las Vegas, okay? Do you know Arizona? He goes, I've been a few times. I said, do you like it? He goes, no. So I said, well, at least 50% there. So why don't we do this, I asked him. What do you have in mind? We had a lengthy conversation about his financial situation, what he wanted to achieve, and the fact that he was going to retire, and therefore, you know, he wanted to look at something a little bit more low-key, and something that he could basically smell the roses, as he put it. And I basically asked him, well, Steve, let me ask you something. Is it important for you to live close to the Strip? His answer to that was absolutely not. It's actually, the further I am away from it, the better it is, as long as it's not rural and I have water and electricity. I started laughing, of course. And I asked him, well, have you heard about communities like Inspirada, Sky Canyon, or Centennial? He goes, you know, I heard about them, but I never was there interested in them. But this is a different situation, so maybe, who knows, maybe it'll work. I said, okay, well, let's set a date, and the next time you're in town, we'll go check them out, and we'll see what you think. And he goes, I'm going to come next weekend, so line something up for me, and so that we can spend a day kind of checking things out. He set up an appointment, he set a date for the following weekend, and we spent a couple of days together. So I started from Inspirada, and we worked our way north towards Centennial and Sky Canyon. And the first words out of his mouth goes, this is a completely different vibe here. I said, yes, it is. But how do you like it? He said, it's actually pretty cool. You know, it's new, and it has everything I need, all the amenities, even golf courses and places that my kids could go and, you know, have a good time when they don't get distracted by the Strip. I said, okay, well, you know, so what do you think? Well, he goes, I think I know what I'm looking for, but I want to think about it a little bit for an extra day. I'm leaving on Sunday, so give me one day to think about it, and we'll take it from there. I said, perfect. Sounds good. You want to have dinner tomorrow night? He goes, sure. Where at? Let's go to Basilico. I said, I know the chef there, and he'll take really good care of us. So I showed him to those locations, and he was very, very surprised because the vibe was completely different. But what was even more intriguing, the numbers told a different story as well. But I'm not going to tell you what happened until the end of the video. So hang in with me, and I'll tell you what he chose, where he chose it, and why he chose it, and why it made sense to him. Who knows? Maybe it'll make sense to you as well. So before we dive into the numbers, let's set the stage. Today on the Zarcone Report, I'm going to talk to you about 5 of Las Vegas's powerhouse communities: Green Valley, Summerlin, Inspirada, Sky Canyon, Centennial Hills. We will look at where prices are right now and how much equity they have gained in the last 5 years. And something just as important, how fast homes are moving in 2025. Because days on the market and month of supply tell us if demand is hot and if prices are likely to keep rising. The table that you see on the screen basically focuses on median prices per community, the HOA fees, the days on the market, and the supply. Now, these numbers are for the third quarter of 2025. As you can see, Green Valley, the median price is $586. The HOA range goes from 40 to 80. The average days on the market is 29 days, and the month supply is 2.1 months. Green Valley Ranch, median price $535, HOA 60 to 100, days on the market average 27 days, and 1.9 months supply. Summerlin, the median price is $600,000. The HOA range from 65 to 110. Average days on the market is 25 days, and the month supply is 1.8 months. Inspirada, $515,000. HOAs from 70 to 120. 31 days on the market, and 2.3 months supply. Sky Canyon, for $175,000. HOAs from 55 to 95. 33 days on the market, and 2.5 months supply. Centennial Hills, on the other hand, $460,000. $40 to $75 are the HOAs, with 35 days on the market and 2.6 months of supply. Now, below you will find the 5-year equity growth. Green Valley South increased by 3.75% for an increase of $100,000. Green Valley Ranch, an increase of 4.25%, equal to $129,000. Summerlin, 5.5%, equal to $187,000. Inspirada, 4.75% for $120,000. Sky Canyon, 4.25% for an increase of $95,000. And Centennial Hill, 3.75% for an increase of $80,000. So what does exactly that mean? In Summerlin, homes are moving the fastest, about 25 days on the market and less than 2 months supply. That's a sign of strong, steady demand. Green Valley Ranch is not far behind, under 30 days on the market and a very tight supply. Families and schools are driving the market there. Green Valley South offers low entry prices, but still only about 2 months supply, which makes it a steady performer. Inspirada has slightly higher market times, just over 30 days, but that's expected as new inventory keeps on hitting the market. Sky Canyon and Centennial are very similar. They are the slowest, closer to 33 to 35 days on the market and 2.5 months supply, which however means more room for negotiation, but slower equity gains. Now that we looked at the numbers, let's look at what these prices will actually buy you in the 3 major areas that we're going to be visiting. We're going to be visiting 3 of the major areas. We're going to be visiting Summerlin, which is the highest of all. Then we're going to go to Green Valley, which is going to be the mid-range. And after that, we're going to go to Centennial, which is going to be the lowest of all. Now, keep in mind that Green Valley and Inspirada are very similar. And also Centennial and Sky Point are very similar as well. In each of these areas, we're going to look at what the average priced home is going to buy you in 2025. So we're going to basically get the average price home for each category, for each community, and we're going to compare them between each other. What does that mean? It means $600,000 would be considered a starter home in Summerlin. $550,000 is the average in Green Valley, and $475,000 is the average in Centennial. Now, however, keep in mind that every one of these communities has outliers as well, meaning that in Summerlin you could find homes under $600,000. Meanwhile, in Green Valley, you could find homes for even less than $550,000, and the same thing goes for Centennial. Likewise, we could find very expensive homes in all 3 categories as well. So let's go. here's our first of our comparables. We are basically in the heart of Summerlin, right off of Sahara and Pavilion Center. Right behind this community where this home is basically downtown Summerlin. And west from us is basically Red Rock. So you're paying for premium lots here, larger lots, and newer built homes, and compared to what we're going to see in Green Valley next. But let me look at the details here, and I'll give you the rundown. So this home is listed at $609,000. It's at $304 per square foot. It was built in 2001. The home itself is 2,003 square feet, and the lot size is 6,098, which is basically considered, medium big, and for comparison to what you would find in Summerlin. The HOAs are $67 a month, and like I said, in Summerlin you're basically paying for the amenities, the trails and the parks and the shopping. Downtown Summerlin has a big call, the sports facilities and the schools. The ballpark area is not too far from here. So keep that in mind when we go to Green Valley and when we go to Centennial afterwards. But there's also a big price difference, and you will notice as we go. So this is the first. Now we're going to be heading to Green Valley, and after Green Valley, we're going to go to Centennial Sky Point area so that you can see the differences. Okay, so hang in there, and we'll get it all wrapped up. So as I promised you, now we are in Green Valley. We're going to be looking at the second home. We are basically right in the heart of Green Valley right here. We're off of Paseo Verde and Valle Verde. So this is considered the heart of Green Valley Ranch. The home that we're going to be comparing it to is the one right behind me. Let me look at my cheat sheet so I don't miss anything. The home is listed at $519,900. That comes to $264 per foot. It was built in 1997. It is 1,969 square feet, and the lot size is 3,920. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and as you can see, it has a 2-car garage. So compare this to Summerlin that we just saw, and now we're going to be heading over to Centennial. So we finally made it to Centennial. Now we are basically on the borderline between Centennial and Sky Point. Our last comparable in Centennial is right behind me. It's basically a 3-bedroom home, 3-bath. I'm going to look at my cheat sheet now. So basically this is going for it's going for $459,900, so $460,000. And once again, we have entry price, average home in this area. And you can see how it compares with, at this point, we visited Summerlin and we visited Green Valley. As you can see, the lots are a little smaller, and the room around the homes are a little bit more like what they call them cookie cutters. However, we're looking at a $100,000 difference. And the amenities around here are really nice. There's lots of trails and parks as well. And there's a lot of entertainments and golf courses, lots of shopping as well. So it's very central in its own way. It's a little farther from the Strip, of course. We're about 35 minutes from the Strip. But, weigh the difference that $100,000 makes in your pocket and how far you can stretch that money. So, bottom line, this is not Summerlin, this is not Green Valley. In Summerlin, you're paying for a lifestyle. In Valley, you're paying for tons of amenities and family setting and great schools. Here, you're paying for newness, smaller lots, and great entry level. So the math is yours to make. Feel free to reach out to me anytime you want, and I will fill you in on what it is that might be your fit. And who knows, maybe this would work, maybe something in Summerlin would work, maybe something Green Valley would work. Now, remember, there's some outliers as well. So there's homes here in Centennial and Sky Point that are pretty up there as well. You could find really, really nice $600,000 homes or $560,000 homes. However, you probably will not find, unless it's a big fixer-upper, a home for $459,000 in Summerlin. And maybe you could find it in Green Valley South or Green Valley North, but I find it really difficult that you could find something similar in Green Valley Ranch. So that brings us to the end of the comparables. Next, we have the pros and cons, so bear with me, and we'll be wrapping it up soon. I'm located at Floyd Lamb Park, and we are at the outskirts of Centennial. This park is very renowned for the many aquatic fowls that they have on premises. Also home to peacocks and horses. They have some sables here. It's really entertaining, and they have events here occasionally, I think about 3 or 4 times a year. So I figured this is the best place to talk to you about the pros and the cons. So let's get started. So here's the pro side. Prices are still rising, but most importantly, homes are still moving. In Summerlin, for example, homes sell in approximately 25 days. And with less than 2 months supply, that is definitely a seller's market. Green Valley Ranch is right there too, about 27 days. That demand keeps equity strong. Another pro, we still have a strong migration. Families from California, retirees from the Northwest, like Steve, even international buyers. That's driving demand in lifestyle-driven communities like Inspirada and Green Valley. Now the cons. Affordability is still the biggest challenge. Mortgage rates are still in the mid-6s, and that stretches budgets. And in some areas like Sky Canyon and Centennial, homes are sitting for about 33 to 35 days, and with about 2 months supply. That's not bad, but it also means growth is slower. But buyers have more negotiation room. So the bottom line, prices are still rising in 2025. But if you're in Summerlin or in Green Valley, expect tighter competition. If you're looking in Sky Canyon or Centennial, you might trade off some equity growth for breathing room on negotiations. So let's zoom out for a moment and let's look at the overall health of the Las Vegas real estate market, including Henderson. The big picture, real estate is healthy here. Prices are still rising, but at a stable, sustainable pace. Not the roller coaster ride that we saw in the 2000s. Days on the market across the valley are averaging about 30 days, which means that homes are still selling, just not overnight. Inventory is holding steady at 2 months supply. That's tight enough to keep prices moving upwards, but balanced enough to give buyers a little wiggle room. What's driving this? Migration, lifestyle, and jobs. People are still coming here for affordability from California, for amenities like communities like Summerlin, Green Valley, and Inspirada, and for Henderson's reputation as one of the safest, most livable cities in the United States. That combination of demand and lifestyle keeps our market strong. Now let's circle back to Steve. You remember my client from Portland, who's been investing here for about 15 years. After seeing Sky Canyon, Inspirada, and Centennial, he needed to make a decision. And here's the twist. Steve isn't just buying a house. He's buying a strategy. He's lived through the highs and the lows of this market, and he knows that steady growth beats short-term hype. So what happened with Steve? First of all, I want to mention that Steve is a very savvy investor. He's been doing this with me for about 15 years, but he was well in the game well before that. So we were in Inspirada, and for those of you that might know, Southern Highlands is basically right across the other side of the 15 freeway. So we made a detour and we visited Southern Highlands. We walked into one of the sales offices there, and we viewed a few new homes. And he really liked this one home that he liked in particular. So we went into the office and we gathered information. They were asking $750,000 for 2,500 square foot home, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3-car garage. So to make a long story short, we got the pricing. They offered us some upgrades, and we told them that we were going to think about it. So Steve and I went to have lunch, and we talked about it. And I told Steve, look, we could probably get a lot more than what they're offering. Let's say that the $750,000, they don't move. However, we'll try to bring them down to $700,000. We'll have them include the upgrades, the appliances. We want the tile flooring, the rectangle tile flooring. We want the quartz countertops. We want the really nice cabinets with the stainless steel and everything. In other words, we wanted a complete package, but we wanted to spend $700,000, not $750,000. So I warned Steve, said, well, how do you feel about if they say no? He goes, well, if they say no, they say no. What the hell? It doesn't matter. So that is Steve. That's his attitude on it. So I wanted Steve to be prepared that they could have said no. So we went back to the office a few hours later, and we wrote up an offer the way that we wanted it, just the way that I structured it. And, the salesperson, well, it's a little bit too low, said, well, okay, well, then we have other options, so we're just going to move on. And then she goes, wait, so let me call my sales manager and see what we could do. Not even 2 minutes later, she called us in, and they approved the sale just the way that we wanted it. So he got $700,000. He got all the appliances. He got the flooring that he wanted in the entire house. He got the cabinets that he wanted. He got the countertops that he wanted. He even got the fixtures that he wanted. So therefore, Steve turned out to be a pretty good deal. The only catch was that, which is not really a catch, it was a 30-day close. And that is fine, because Steve, it doesn't matter if he closes today, in 30 days, or a year from now. For him, he was looking for a bargain, and he found the best deal that he would find in the valley. So the takeaway, there's some really good deals in Las Vegas right now. The fact that we just came out of a market where homes were sitting on a market for a week or two, and now they're sitting on a market for about 30 days. There is like a little panic, and therefore sellers are willing to negotiate. And it takes someone strong, someone that knows how to negotiate, to be able to get these deals. So it's important that you surround yourself with someone that knows the market, and then with someone that knows how to communicate what the customer wants to the salespeople, or to the homeowner, or to the agent. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of the Zarcone Report. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment with your questions. I read everyone, and if you know someone that's thinking about moving to Las Vegas, share this with them. It could change the way they see their options. And remember, real estate is not just about buying or selling a home. It's about strategy, timing, and having someone on your side that knows how to put the pieces together. I'm Giacomo Zarcone, and I'll see you next Thursday on the Zarcone Report. You guys be safe and be kind.